Hey everybody, it's Greg Rice and we're here at Mobilio & Son in Cheshire, Connecticut. And we're with the president, Mr. Joe Mobilio.
Hi, how you doing?
How's it going, Joe?
Doing very well, thank you.
Thank you so much. I came down from Rhode Island today. Joe is my first ever Connecticut interview, so it's going to be a good one. And a lot of you in the Valley, you know Joe already. Joe is a very, very prevalent guy. And how did you get started? What was the beginning for Mobilio & Son?
All right, yeah. So, I mean, like you said, we're from the Valley. You know, we know a lot of people here. That was like one thing that always stuck out in my mind is that how many people we actually know.
True.
In the Valley area.
True.
You know what I mean? Like that was something that always just stuck with me for some reason when starting the business is that I want to first, market to the people that I know that trust me. Because really it's about trust at the end of the day with anything you do. If your clients trust you, I think you'll be in really good hands with that.
Sure.
So how we started, it was pretty simple. My family owned and operated a heating and cooling company about 15 years ago. They were in business for almost 25 years. They went out of business, unfortunately, at that time. And I worked with them for a while. So basically out of high school and sometimes in high school, I'd go with my father, I'd go with my uncle, I'd kind of see what it's about. Anyone who's in the trade knows that it's not an easy job. You're in basements, you're in attics, you're getting filled with insulation. Especially in the summer, if you're in an attic, forget it. It's over 150 degrees up there.
Right.
You're sweating big time. So with that said, I would just basically go with them, and kind of feel out what it's about. And I always said to myself, never will I do this, ever. I'm not doing this stuff. You're crazy to do this. You're nuts. You got to be something mentally wrong with you.
Yeah.
Well, no, in all reality, I that's how I thought at the time. I was a young kid, 19, 20. So I went to college for the year, seeing what it was about. And my family had that business. So I said, you know what? College is great, but as of right now, this isn't for me. That's what I thought. I said, I want to join the family biz. So that's what I did.
What was the name of the business?
Anthony's Fuel,
okay.
Which is my uncle's name.
Got it.
Okay, and it was my father, my uncles, my aunt.
And where was that?
Stratford, Connecticut.
Stratford, okay.
Yeah, they were in Stratford, here in Connecticut. So that was great. So I went with them a little bit and kind of went through the ropes with them. They showed me how to do things. I was literally every day in the basements, in the attics, just working, getting to know. I was very green, as they call it. Green is new.
Yeah.
So you're very new at everything. You don't really know what's going on, And from there, I just said, you know what? I think this is what I'm going to do. I quit. I stopped going to school, came here and focused on HVAC, heating and air conditioning. Went to school for that. Got my hours, it's called, in school. You do that. And then from there, you have to be apprenticed on the job for a certain amount of hours to get licensed. So that's kind of like what we did, So I basically went through that. And no, not kidding, at the time, I was 21 years old. I lived with my father still. I was a young kid. One day he popped into my bedroom one morning and just said, hey, we're closing the doors. That's it. No more business. Caught me completely blindsided. I was like, so what do you mean we're closing the doors? He goes, I don't know. Do what you want. You want to go to school? Go back to school. And I'm like, this wasn't my mentality here. I'm like, I thought I was going to be in a family business, eventually run it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately it didn't work out that way for me. So he basically said, we're closing the doors. Figure yourself out, and do what you got to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you respect it? Did you hate it?
I was pissed.
I
was pissed. I'm like, dude, what do you mean it's over? I go, that's it? Not even like blindsided me. I'm like, well,
wow.
I guess I got to find a new job. You know what I mean? And that's what I did. I found a new job.
Where was the new job?
I don't want to throw names out, but it was a job out in Norwalk.
So it's another company.
Another heating and air conditioning company, yeah. And we went there, and it was hell. It was hell, that's for sure. It was a nightmare. I was the new guy. There was only about like 3 technicians there. Things were done extremely unprofessional. It just wasn't for me. You know what I mean? And I stayed there for about a good month. And then eventually, from there, applied for another job in another area. And I remember, when you're young and you're in this field and you don't know anything, you really are a dime a dozen. They can get rid of you. you're getting paid low. You know, they don't take you seriously. No one's listening to you because you're dealing with, 45, 50-year-old men that have been in the trade for 30 years. They don't want to hear from a kid, right? Like in anything else, no matter where you are. So you just got to put your head down and go to work, as I say. So I applied at another company, and this was more established. I had about 15, 20 guys on the show. Great owner, accepted me for who I was, and luckily knew the last name, Mobilio. So that was a plus because they knew about my family prior. So our name's in this field. And then I stuck with them for about 5 years, and it was great. I learned a lot. I got my license, and then from there, working with them, I decided I wanted to join another company. So I joined one more company after that, and this was a humongous company.
Got it.
So I saw all aspects. So I was doing big commercial stuff, And then from there, I was with them for about 1.5 to 2 years, and then I said to myself, you know what, I think I'm comfortable enough to start my own business. I think I'm ready.
What age was that?
25.
And that's when you founded Mobilio and Son?
Yeah.
Was it always and Son?
Yes.
Or was it Mobilio
always
first?
Mobilio and Son.
And was there a deeper meaning behind that? Kind of like how you were hoping to take over your father's footsteps.
Right.
Is that your goal here?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So my son, he's 9 years old.
Okay.
And I put it the Mobilio and Son to give him the option. Like, hey, if you ever want to do a little heating and cooling, I'm here for you, bud.
That's an amazing father.
Thanks, bro.
You don't see that. I don't see that. Yeah. I don't see anything in Son anymore.
Yeah.
It's very rare. Usually the flooring companies, the plumbers, sometimes the electricians, but even it's just fizzling away. So it's awesome that you...
I'm coming back.
Yeah.
I'm bringing that back.
Love it.
I've been in business going on, I believe, 8 years now, About 8 years I've been in business. And from where we were then to now, it's not where the end goal is, but we're heading in that correct direction, and it all starts at the top. If you're the business owner, you're the leader, as you would know, and people will follow that leader.
Yeah.
And if you're not a good leader, it'll show
for sure
through your whole entire company.
So right behind us, and I'll put it up on the screen so you can see at home. It says, if having issues, don't say why me, say try me. So elaborate.
Yeah, all right, excellent. So let's just say in your field or in your profession, you have that one issue that you're just your brain just completely turns on you and just says, hey, you're not going to be able to fix this. I don't care. In your mind, that's what's happening, right? Think of anything that just happened recently or a year from now. And you sit there and you're trying to figure it out and you're calling resources or you're trying to, do whatever you can to get that problem fixed, right? Mm-hmm. Don't say, why me? Like, what am I going to do? I can't say, you know what? Bring it.
Bring it.
Try me. Mm. And I'm going to show you as a person morally, and ethically who I am. And I'm going to complete that. No matter what it takes. Everything's fixable. Mm. At the end of the day.
Especially in your field.
That's it. Hey, you want some HVAC? Call the man. But what I'm saying is that, even in life, anything's fixable. At the time of day, it is a disaster. Mm-hmm. It is. But then, just breathe, go for a run. That's my thing. I like Exercise. Going for runs, man. Yeah. That's I have a trail on the back here.
Love it.
These girls look at me like I'm nuts. I got my Speedo looking underwear, my Under Armour.
That's great.
And I'm like this.
Can we put that on camera?
Yeah, sure. I can go get it now. No, but I'm saying like that's if I'm having that big of an issue, I just go for a run, for 2, 3, 4 miles, whatever it is. Get your mind healthy. That's the healthy stuff that you want to do.
True.
And it works for me. Or exercise, or go bust out 50 push-ups, come back, feel it. What can I do? What are we gonna do? But eventually, it's gonna work itself out.
How do you instill that in your workers?
Woo! That's a hard one. That's a good one, though. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Excellent. We have meetings, all right? And with my meetings, if you look in the top there, which we'll show you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It says stay positive. You know what I mean? For an example, priority in the office, working as a team, teamwork. Mm-hmm. Teamwork makes the dream work. You know what I'm saying? Little things like that, never give up. You got to instill the positivity. Because if you don't, it can get negative quick. And when that negative is there, address it. Say, yeah, there is a negative issue here, but we're going to fix it and we're here for you. Little things like even having my guys, especially like, I'm always hearing, oh, why did we do this job? It was in an attic and it was tight and we couldn't even get in there. Yes, you're right. It was tight. We did have that. But guess what? If we weren't going to do it, someone else was going to do it.
Right.
And therefore, we're going to be the better company and we're going to attack it.
Yep.
And you're going to stay employed. You're going to have these benefits. You know, you're going to be able to buy your house. Stick to your goals. That's what I did to them. I sat them all down. We're all in this area. And I said, I want everyone here to write down your goals. What are your goals in life? And then from there, one guy said, oh, I want to buy a brand new house for me and my fiance. That's an amazing goal.
Perfect.
Excellent goal. What's your goal? Oh, I want to buy the new Mercedes 2020 E350. I said,
whatever.
That's a great goal. You must have everything else figured out, because if that's your goal, you're doing all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or, you know, my goal is to see my son more, or my daughter more, or my goal is, and with that said, you know, if you're going to hit that goal, you got to be happy in life first. That's number one. And then from there, work's going to make that happen financially.
Yep.
So with that said, be happy that you're in a company that cares about that.
Yeah.
Because most people, I'm not trying to point or blame, or they're not like this.
You're right.
I do a meeting probably once a week. Once a week I have with my guys, and I pay for it. I give them breakfast. I give them whatever it takes. Sit them down. It gets awkward sometimes. I'm not going to lie, because they're probably like, you know, what's going, you know.
Especially no windows in here.
No way, you're in a jail cell.
This is the interrogation
room. You're in the
room.
cell, dude. And I've interrogated in here, trust me. But like, you know, with that said, it just, you know, I kind of just sit them down and I'd say, you know, hey, what do you want to do to hit your goal? Well, to do that, you're going to have to work. And with working, you have to have a positive attitude here. That's our main thing. And it mostly, it works to an extent, but it's a good start, you know, to help them stay motivated.
Yeah.
Who wants to wake up and go to work every day? Really?
I do.
Of course, so do I. Well, who normally? I was saying, but like
most people don't, because it's toxic where they work.
Exactly.
So you're changing that whole. I mean, breakfast for come on, who's getting breakfast from anybody?
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, these are the little things that I know that I never got. So I'm trying to say, you know what? This will make that person that much happier to work here. And I'd say, even if you were to ask everybody, how is it working for Joe at Mobilio's? They're all going to say good. Because if they're not, then I'm doing something wrong.
True.
You know what I mean? And that's what we're trying to do here. It's a different feel, man. It's not a normal HVAC company.
Totally.
No, it's different, but I am different. Look what we're doing online. Yeah. Look what you're doing online. Even the online presence is different.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always online. I'm putting things. I'm showing it. I have someone that I hire strictly for online use. Post my stuff. Get it going. Take pictures. Get it done. Get it on there. Put the reviews on Google. If you check our Google. Facebook, all the reviews for us.
And we'll throw up your reviews now on the screen while you're talking.
Awesome.
Those are important.
Huge. That's the new way. You know, my uncle, he owned a business for 30 years. He said to me, hey, you know, make sure you're on the Better Business Bureau, and that's the number one. And I said, no, yeah, that's good.
Yep.
But nowadays, it's slowly changing. People don't want to wait and go on they want to look at your reviews on Google, or they want to scroll. Ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
That's what we're trying to do here, too. Especially with, like, servicing, you know, scheduling, having it very friendly, online friendly. So you just want to literally, we're getting to the point now where when you go on our website, we're going to have someone ready to talk to you right when you go on.
Perfect.
Hey, how are you? This is Desiree, or this is John, or this is Jack, whoever's on the time. We're here to service your needs. Are you interested in having an appointment?
Yep.
Who does that?
Not,
you know what I'm saying?
Not the old 50-year-old guy that you're talking about smoking cigarettes, yelling at people.
That's it, man.
You're changing the whole makeup.
That's what I'm doing.
So tell me about the young ladies downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
What do they do? How are they important? How have they progressed and changed over the years?
Guys, this is Business 101.
Yeah.
Right here, baby.
Yes.
Tell them. I did. No, yeah, so like for an example, like you were saying, I mean to interrupt you or anything, but yeah, the girls downstairs, we have 3 lovely women right now. They're down there and they all have their own specific lane, and that's it. One does all your books, right? I don't know if you have someone or an accountant. Most people do that. We have so many transactions going on, and me personally, I can't be married to that. I can't be
much.
As much as people would say you're crazy to not know your books in and out because of all the, trust issues and things like that. It's a serious problem. That's a serious issue. You have to trust someone doing your books. There's no question about it. But as long as I can overview the main point of it, you can hire someone to do that. To say, hey, reconcile every month. Make sure everything's correct on the books. Make sure we're not spending over at supply houses. Make sure the gas isn't getting overspent. See your average and then see what's going on. If it's going up, why? Oh, they went down to South Windsor 4 times this week. That makes sense. But always stay on top of it, but don't be married to it. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. So we have someone there that takes care of all the books. She tells me what I could spend, what I can't spend. When that tax time comes, when it's ready to unleash and get what you really need.
Yep.
The IRS is watching you.
Yes, they are. They are.
They're watching right now.
Where are they? Probably are.
They are.
Listening on your phone, maybe.
Dude, it's all over. But as long as you have the right people organizing those things, that's an owner, right? Putting people in their place. So then we have someone that takes care of all the scheduling. Because we need someone to answer our phones constant. When that phone line is going, I look at it going, okay, this person I know they can do this properly without any hiccups. Because when someone calls in and they want to know how much a service call is, and they want to know how much is it for your agreement, because we have a service partner maintenance agreement where I know that a customer calls in, we have this all on a contracted sheet that says what we take care of at your home doing gas, oil, heat pump, whatever the case is. They need to know that because if they don't and they start fumbling, that's it. I don't want to deal with these people. Thanks, but no thanks. Hey, you can't even get me a price. See you later.
Right.
So there's one person that does that, and then there's one that basically I hired her to do a lot of Facebook, Instagram, and also making our system more efficient, meaning that we have a system that we use that calculates all the customers and how to schedule out, and we want it to be updated as much as possible and to put more materials in, things like that. So for service reasons, I don't want to lose anyone, but if you need like a new oil burner on your actual boiler, we have it to the point where the technicians out there just click on a button and there's the price.
Perfect.
You know what I mean? So there's no...
It's not shady, let me go in my truck and script.
Right, exactly. So we have someone that literally just takes care of that.
Beautiful.
And most people look at me and go, I feel like that's a waste of money. Why don't you do it? Well, because I'm out here building.
Correct.
I'm the builder at this point. I'm trying, for you to even come here and do this, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But you caught me somehow. Right?
Exactly.
And that's what I look at.
Not from being quiet and being in your room and doing nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So with that said, yeah, it's right. So that's why we're different, and another big thing is like the online presence. That's it, man. This is it. This is it. Your online presence is key.
Do you still do old school networking where you go to meetings or, groups? I've done away with it. I don't believe in it
That's
anymore.
so funny you said that. I was in BNI. If anyone who follows me, and I'm not trying to say BNI is not a good thing. Hey, God bless you. I'm sure you've done listen, for you to be at that point where everybody in business knows you, you did something amazing.
Yes.
That's great. But when it comes to me personally, I'm at a point now where I feel that I don't actually need it right now. I always feel like networking is huge with the right people, but as of right now, I feel like I can do away without actually doing it. But eventually, I may jump back into it just to do it. I mean, any type of communicating with business partners or business owners is great, no matter how you look at it.
True.
So with that said, that used to be like my go-to, but then once I kind of evolved, you could say, I realized there's other ways where I can put financially into the business that you could still build and still have that work for you too.
100% agree.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
How about customers? What's your biggest sticking point that they often have that you're trying to work on or you've improved on?
Yeah, so customers, so it's what they say, the customer's always right. We have to talk about that for a little bit because yes,
Beautiful.
they are.
I love this guy. We have to talk about this.
We're going to talk about it for a little bit. So my biggest thing is I love it because I do all my own sales.
Yep.
I love that stuff because when I'm no one can kind of like school me on what I know, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Anyone can go online and they can research what they want, but at the end of the day, we all know that you're the professional.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to know best and you're going to know most. So in that sense of it is that when I've been noticing when I present my pricing to someone, they're comparing me to someone who literally has one truck,
right?
Doesn't even change their clothes,
right? Out of their house,
out of their home, you know, no warranties,
right?
You know, and that's where it gets frustrating, right? But it's there, and I have to address it.
Yep.
So with that said, is that with customers, that's like the biggest thing that I kind of get is that. Why are you $1,000 more? It's the same exact price or whatever the case is. But listen, this isn't a vehicle that you just. This is actually it is a furnace,
mm-hmm.
but this furnace can literally burn your house down,
right,
and kill your family,
right.
Like I'm dead serious, like,
yeah.
And that's like the one thing that look at safety first. If you look up there too,
number 2.
No, it should be number 1, but teamwork.
The irony, I was wondering if you caught that.
I did. Well, I did. But, you know, but at the same time, teamwork is number 1. Because without teamwork, you don't have a crew to do the safety.
Okay. So safety first and second.
Exactly. You just always have to, you know, explain to that customer, like, listen, I know that, but just remember, we have that 24/7 emergency service if something breaks down. We're licensed and insured. You know, just go down the list. You know, all of our technicians are licensed. You know what I mean? We have rarely any apprentices on the show. And if we do, they're usually doing installations, but they're helping our main guys that make over $40 an hour. You know, we have a building that we bought. We're not leasing or renting that. We bought this building. So we have new trucks, nothing less than 2017. So we have about 10 trucks on the road right now. So with that said, it costs money, and you can't compare that with the price.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I look at it myself too. One time I'll never forget it. I wanted to get a brand new deck, right? I got a couple quotes, this and that. The cheapest guy that told me, hey, you know, we're gonna do this, and this for this price, and the price was amazing. I saved like $3,000. I'm like, do it. It ended up costing me $10,000 more after because of all the issues. But the main guy that went in there said, listen, man, this is what it's going to be, you know, because I see what's going on. So I felt like I should have just went with that guy. He knew what he was talking about.
And he was squared
up, and then you had issues. You couldn't get a hold of him. I mean, these are the real issues of what's going on, you know, and I like to always, you know, articulate the reality, we call it. Let's talk about what's really going on here, you know, and when I'm out there selling to my customers, it's easy. Because I know what I have backing me up. You know what I mean? So that's probably the only thing is the pricing I get a lot with. It's not the service. It's not bad reviews. You know, I'm fortunate in that way.
Good.
You know, but I built that to make that happen. You know, I was a young kid, one truck by myself, taking calls, doing all the installs, doing all the service work, getting the 24/7 emergency calls. You were just here and we have no heat and it's Christmas Day.
Right.
Roberta Longo, I'll call you out. You remember that one, Roberta? Wow. You do. And who was there?
Your boy was there.
That's it. I was there to take care of it. And so, like, for an example, in the business, do you guys have an employee handbook?
Oh, yeah.
You have to, right?
20 pages.
Well, there you go. Go ask that one guy with the one truck and the dirty pants if he has an employee handbook. Just ask him. You know what I'm saying? No. Yep. The answer's no. So you're paying for what you get.
And these people are coming in your house. You're bringing shady birds in your basement.
You don't want them birds in there.
Flying around the living room. Going through the jewelry box, which I'm sure happens.
It happens, dude. Are you kidding me? I mean, luckily, you know, we're on top of our stuff, you know. And another thing, too, is like for what you do, when you have an employee that works for you, nothing's getting by you with that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what's going on.
You sniff it out.
That's it. And I'm here every day. Even with these girls, I trust them with my life, but I'm here every day.
Every day?
Every day.
Every day?
During the week from 9 to 5.
All right. I'm here 5 days.
I'm here 4 days.
Do you find, though, that it doesn't shut off? Like, even the family time, you're like checking and looking.
Always. Oh, it's a 24/7 up here.
Is that a gift or a curse?
Well, it's how you look at it, really, right? Is that it's a gift because you get to get that extra time off, we can say, okay, where you don't need to really answer to anybody, okay? And if you are answering to somebody, it's because it's a real reason. It's not because, why did you go golfing on Wednesday when you should have been, that's not how, that's the gift. The curse is that I'm married to this forever. I have a beautiful fiance, right? Her name's Jackie. Love you, babe. 2 beautiful kids, right? But I'm always in battle because when I'm home,
right,
I know that phone's, my son's tugging my pants. Come on, Dad, let's go check this out. And I'm like, hold on, I'll give you in a little bit. Let me do this first. So that's the only difference. But mostly I give it a gift. I feel like without us, we can't build this empire that we're trying to build, right? So therefore we can't help other people get jobs and help them out.
Right.
We're helping everybody in a way. And we don't get the trophy though.
But 99% of all businesses are small business. So what do you have to say about that? What do you feel about all small businesses? Restaurants, cleaning businesses, electricians. Do you think that they are the lifeblood to the economy?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And to the community?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every person, because you have to look at it like this. Every person that decided to take that step to be in their own business, kudos to you. Good for you. Because you know how hard that is to say, you know what? I'm stopping. I look at it like this, right? Me and you are in the jungle. Right?
Yeah.
We're in the jungle right now, okay? And we're trying to eat. And we're going to do whatever we can to attack and eat, no matter what it takes, because if we don't, we're going to starve.
True.
But when you are working for someone, you were in a cage, and they feed you here and there. Yeah, you're in a cage. You're in a cage, and they're coming out with their dinner. Here you go, buddy.
Here you go. And then you...
What I'm saying is that if you're looking to say, you know what, I'm going to do it myself, and I'm going to go for it, with all the cards stacked against you, because you know you're going to hear it from your family, you're going to hear it from your wives, you're going to hear it from your father, your mother. What are you doing? You got a great job, you got benefits, you got this, you got that.
Right.
They're all against you in a way, not to be a bad thing.
Yeah. Safety.
But
they want you
to feel secure. Right. But guess what? When you can get out of that, now look at you. Now look at you.
100%.
You know? And I'll tell you, taxes are not your friend. Okay? Taxes hurt. That, how much? I gotta pay for what? How am I supposed to do this? That's when you become the lion.
Yeah. Find those deductions.
Do what you gotta do.
Find those investments.
Be the lion.
So tell me, what was some of the antagonists saying about you when you started the company, or maybe even to this day, like what are the peanut gallery chirping?
Peanut guy, I love it. Yeah, it's always negative. We know that, right? But most of it is that you're not going to make it. You're not going to do it. Where are you going to get the money? All these questions of what about your health benefits? You know what I'm saying? Like these are the things that come into play. It's reality. But the one thing they never asked me. How deep is your drive? They never asked me that. You asked me that. I'll show you where the deep drive comes from. I'll prove to you. No one ever asked that. They ask about the negatives, and they don't say, "Oh, what are you going to do when you hit your first $1 million?" They don't see that part. You know what I'm saying? Or they don't say like, what are you going to do when you do make it? Like, that's another great question. You're running up the hill, and then you finally get there. And you're like, holy, I made
There's nobody up here.
It's lonely. I need someone, help me. No, but really, it's like, those are questions that you don't think of because you're so used to the negatives. Like, you're not going to make it, you're not going to do it. And that's in everything. I've watched all this guy's, his interviews. They're great. I'll tell you, they're great. And I'm listening to what these company owners are saying. Some of them I agree with, some of them I don't. But the same token, a majority of them, they know what they're talking about, And with that said, there's only one person that's going to know about business, and it's the person that's in it, right? You're going to get my pain. You're going to get that. Guess what? When I have a question, I don't have an employee to pull to the side and say, hey man, what do I do?
Right.
You got to figure it out. This is your show. That's the biggest thing. But I'm getting through that. I'm seeing that it is possible, you know? Sky's the limit. That's how you have to think every day. Isn't it sick?
Yeah.
It's sick in the brain.
Yeah. Who do you seek for advice?
No, I have, all right, so one thing about advice is that I always...
Non-business, like...
Just normal advice?
Like a neutral, like I'll ask my wife something, because she's not in the property management business. I say, honey, what do you think about this? And she'll say, oh, I think you should try this. And I'm like, oh.
Not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea. So who do you get your impartial advice from?
My fiance, she's great. I mean, she'll have her times where, you know how it is. Like, they'll get it, but they won't.
Right.
Believe it or not, man, my team. My team, man. But not like when it comes to normal, like to make a decision that's for the actual company, you can hear them out. But, you know, you do what's best. You know what's best. But my biggest thing, too, is my uncle and my father. They've been through this, right? So I can just ask them little things like, you know, what do you think? What do you think? You got to take every little piece that can help you, and then that's how you decide. But it has to be the right decision. It really does. You know, it takes just a little bit to go in the wrong path, you know. But if you're doing it out of the goodness, I notice it's usually pretty good. I noticed that personally.
How about, say you got to go back to day one of you opening the business.
Yeah.
What one thing, material thing, process, policy would you have done differently?
From day one, huh? But it's funny that you said that, because from day one, I was so focused on just doing the work and making the money.
Yeah.
So I think, believe it or not, I think I'm in a pretty good position where I am, because I've made some of the steps before hiring more people and making this bigger than what it really is that I took the time to figure out what I should do. But the one thing I didn't do was build processes and know, like, when this person comes on, this is her role, and kind of be the owner part. So I wish I kind of brushed up a little bit more on that instead of just kind of diving in. But I figured it out. Yeah. But it's always about building the processes for the team. You know what I mean? And having that in order. And knowing that, you know, there's procedures. That's huge. Your procedures. Because if you're kind of just letting everyone run amok and you're making money, luckily, it'll get messy. Yeah. You know, some of the actual Indians may think they're chiefs, or you know, they get that little I'm making money. So you got to kind of have a thin line of not, you know, hurting their feelings by telling them, listen, you're not a chief, you're still an Indian. But at the same token, appreciate what they're doing for you, and kind of move forward. And that's like one thing I kind of gave a little too much in the beginning, because I wasn't used to having people help me. Yeah. So now that you're helping me, I'm like, this is great. Yeah. I keep doing it. Yeah. But I wish I kind of took a little step back, because and kind of said, you know, this is what I'm offering you, and get a little bit more of be a little bit more educated on how to pay that person, you know, and not just give them, here's this much money, keep doing what you're doing, please. That's what I had to do. So now it's kind of like I figured that out, you know, because when you're starting to build, no one teaches you that. You know, you can go to school for business and everything, but you know, there's going to be some things that you run into that are not normal, you know, and you have to figure a way to fix those issues. And that's what I do.
What's your biggest fear business-wise? That's always in the back of your mind, like, oh shit, that day can come or this thing can happen. What's that thing?
I think, to be honest, is getting so big to where I lose control of everything. To where that's why I'm doing like what I'm doing, to kind of have these systems in place. That's what I was looking for. Your systems, because it can happen. And that's a great thing. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if you're able to, I feel like this is like, I'm blessed to have that mentality to say, I don't worry about me going out of business, because I feel that I'm going to be so big and I'm going to keep pushing as hard as I can that I need to have some sort of control over this business. And that's when you hire people, and that's when you have to trust them. Trust. It's another thing. Trust is huge with your employees. You know, I mean, I'll go back to it. I mean, when it comes to books, You know, these people are seeing what's in your account. You know, they're paying your bills for the business. I mean, it just takes the wrong person to really screw a bunch of things up that you have to clean up later. You know, so just always be attentive. Know what's going on. But don't be married to that stuff.
Right, like you said.
Can't be, man. Like, I don't know anyone who's like a multi-billionaire that sits there and does their own accounting and bookwork all day. I just don't see it. Just because I know what that was like. And at that point, you can hire someone to do that. But trust them. Yeah, it's hard to do, but this is why we're in this position, right?
So you're not motivated by money, you're motivated by purpose.
No, I don't care about money. I swear to God.
No, I'm with you.
Like, I don't really...
It doesn't fuel me.
Money keeps the doors open, right? Money keeps the employees here. But I have a purpose, and I want to be one of the biggest HVAC companies in Connecticut. That's all. That's what I want. And that's what I think about. Like, I didn't even bring up money. It's funny you brought it up.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of it.
That's my job as the interviewer.
I didn't even think of it.
Figure you out, and I could tell that.
And I'm more about making people happy. And you know, there's times where we lost $10,000 on jobs. And it hurts, you know, but financially, we're in a pretty good position to be where we're in. So I feel like I'm comfortable where I am. So now I'm trying to go for that actual goal. And that's to be the best and the biggest HVAC company in Connecticut. That's just what I want to do, you know. And people will be like, "You think he's going to be the best HVAC company when you got Standard Oil, biggest company? You got, you know, Sirocco, biggest HVAC company in it." I don't care about them.
No problem.
I just look about what I'm doing,
Yep.
and I say, "This is where I'm at. Holy crap! I got 10 trucks. That's great, but I need 20. That's a great thing, but I can't be comfortable." It's a lot when you think about it, you know? The details is big though too, right? The details on
100%.
everything. And that's why you hire the right people. It's a chess game. You just got to put this guy here, put this one here, so this doesn't attack. We'll put this here, we'll do this here. That's all I'm doing.
How many people have you fired on your way up the ladder? Because I made a video. I fired probably 90% of the people that ever worked for me. And that's a lot. That's the truth, because they don't fit the mold. They do one thing untrustworthy or shady. See you later.
That's it. Yeah. No, I agree. You know, I would say, I probably fired out of, let's just say, I don't know how to put this in a ratio, but like if there was 100 people, I probably fired close to 30. Good. We'll just say like that'll be like kind of what we're at. About
1 out of 3.
Yeah.
And what's the most common issue that you have? Is it
not performing?
Performance issue?
It's all about performance.
Lazy.
That's performance. Anything that I see that you're not producing, that I know that I can do better or I can have someone else that does better, you're gone. It's actually simple because they do it to themselves.
True.
I actually give you enough rope.
Yeah.
And I just say, let's see what you could do with that rope. Some people strive with it. They run with that rope, and you're just like,
good job, bud.
Good for you. You know? And then there's some people that just
hang them.
And it's an easy combo, you know? But what I've done is I've saved people to where they were just about to hang themselves. And I sat them in, and I just put it on the line like, listen, you're better than that. I've seen it.
Yep.
Boom. You give them a little confidence. My biggest thing is articulate the reality. Move forward, and then build your confidence. That's what I do. That's it. You use that formula. I'm giving away my secrets now. I don't like this.
They can't implement them.
Yeah, you got to.
It's too hard.
It isn't. But it's true. Like, for an example, let's say I have an issue with you. Most people would just bring you in the office, make you feel bad, put your head down.
Right.
I'm the leader.
Yeah.
You're the nobody. I'm the boss.
Get out.
You're not. Get out of my office. How do you think that person feels? I'll tell you right now, if I worked for that guy, which I have, I wouldn't feel good. I'd be like, oh my God, he thinks I suck. What am I going to do? Da-da-da-da. All these things go through your mind. But if you like I said, you bring the problem to reality. And then from there, I just say to him, this is what we're going to do now. This is what I feel will help us all, is if you do this. But by the way, that was a damn good interview. You killed it, bro. That right there, just that
Positive
little bit.
Reinforcement.
That's it, man. Right there. That right there. And I'm telling you, I should be charge people for this. I'm joking.
$9 to watch this video.
$9.
Not 10.
Yeah, right? No, but like in all reality, like I've noticed that works for me. You know, and I'm doing it every day. It's like when you're fixing a problem, right? You need the tools. My tools now is this. And I'm an HVAC guy.
Right.
I came from the basement and the attic. I'm just slowly getting in, you know, it's common sense, a lot of it, but you got to have it. You got it, you know, you got to have that mentality of a constant win.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be the lion, dude.
Absolutely.
You got to be that lion, man. It's hard, but
what's been your most memorable, rewarding moment? And it could be as small as like Mrs. Jones got a new heating system and you made her day. Like, give me one time that you felt like, wow, I just made a really big difference.
I think I would say when I bought this building, okay, that was like a very proud moment because I know what I'm going to do with it. Like I had that, I'm going to buy this building and I'm going to grow the biggest, best HVAC company in this. And then I'm going to, 5 years from now, I'm going to rent this out and go buy a bigger building. And I'm going to, so it's kind of like the stages of it. So like I knew like this was going to be the greatest. And as long as you always think like that and show the employees like, hey, this is what I want for us, man. We're gonna do this. They love it. They feed into it, and then you can kind of get motivated off of each other, you know. So that was probably the biggest thing because I knew once this worked out, it's game time.
And it worked out.
And it worked out, and it is working out.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
That's great. I see myself personally in 5 years, work-wise, that I want at least 20 trucks. That's one.
So double what
where we are. Rent this out, go get a bigger building. Get better health benefits for the guys. That's like my number one thing. I want to really get them better 401k plans. Put as much I can into the workers and help them succeed. That's like what I really want from them to do. I want them to succeed and feel good about themselves and have a nice place they can call home.
Yeah.
You know, a home away from home, as you say.
How about family?
Yeah.
Tell me about your family time. Like, what are you doing, off work hours? What makes you tick?
Yeah, I mean, basically, family's huge, like you said. I mean, it really is huge. I love, coming home from work, spending some time with the family as much as I can. Weekends are big. We have a pool. That's like our thing, go in the pool with them and make some burgers and hot dogs on the grill and try to always be engaged. The biggest thing after work is going home and help them with their homework. I love doing that. I love helping them with their homework.
Do you ever get stumped?
Always.
You're like, wait,
we Google it. Look at this. What does that say?
All good. Another great tech on your team.
That's it.
Coming from
a customer.
Wow.
Yeah. So they do that all the time.
That wasn't planned.
No, that it wasn't. It's just these are the things but that's what I mean. Like, I'm just saying, as long as you're attentive and you're there and you have good view and good morals, good goals, you're not out here doing the negative stuff, the bad things, the drinking all the time, if you smoke, that's on you. I mean, just like drugs, alcohol, all that bull, that you got to stay focused on what makes sense. Family, just have good moral values. And if you do that, I really feel like you'll be successful. Even if you're not to where you want to be, you'll be in a good place in life. I mean, from my mentality, just from today to yesterday, if you saw me yesterday, I was a mess. I had a big issue.
What was the issue?
I can't go there. It's a big issue.
It's that fresh?
It was that fresh, and it was
business
bad.
issue?
Business.
Okay.
All business. This is all business talk. I had a big issue, but then I said to myself, don't say why me. Say try me. And then I woke up, and there you go. I was ready. Mentality, everything changed. So it just takes that little bit to get you off track, but you got to stay on it. It's true, man. It really is true. Positivity.
That's kind of like my last question for you is, what should the folks at home know about you, aside from the business? What should they know about you? Well,
really, I'm just here to help. That's all I'm trying to do, is that I'm trying to bring you a good service. I'm here to help your family. Like really, like I said, especially here in the winter months, carbon monoxide is a serious issue. If God forbid you didn't get this done correctly, you're putting your family in harm's way. So if you do choose the cheaper guy, I'm telling you, I've seen it happen where we're gonna have to come in and clean up that mess. So you gotta trust in who you're using, and I think you should definitely choose us. You know, Mobilio and Son, heating and cooling.
I have one more question.
Okay, sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
It just you brought it to my mind. Do you miss working with your hands?
It's a great question. I do, but I got a solution for that.
Okay.
If I feel like working with my hands, I just go to a job that's going on, and I just do it.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
You pop in.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
No
Should have
kidding.
seen us during the summer. Absolutely. This is what was going on. We were getting so busy.
Okay. With
with AC, that inside my office, sometimes it gets to that. And if the running isn't helping, or whatever the case is, I love going to the actual install and taking on one job because it keeps me focused on that one thing. And everything else goes away. So I have a truck at home. I have all my tools still in the truck. I got all my stuff, and I have it just sitting there. Actually,
awesome.
It's actually right in the front here. You'll see it, the box truck. But yeah, I'll literally just get out and just go, and I'll do it. Yeah.
That's
Let's
legit.
go for it. Yeah, man.
And is the customer? Oh my God, Joe's here.
Most of them don't even know me.
Oh.
They're just like,
Now they do. That guy fixed my hair.
You're the owner?
Exactly. Undercover
You
boss.
told me you were the freaking apprentice.
That's
legit, dude. Yeah, most of them don't even know who I am, but some do. You know, they're like, "Oh, Joe, I seen your commercials." You know, so we did a lot of commercial work.
Okay.
Meaning on Comcast, we were on commercials. We had 2 commercials. We'll go through those a little bit. You know, it's all in the Valley area, Comcast mostly, but yeah, they'll remember me from that, or they'll see my Facebook post, or so yes, I am the face of the company. But there are some customers that they only look at the guys that were there, like Steve. I have a great technician. Great, they're all great. Greg, Steve, Bobby, girls, everyone's great. But this specific service guy sells some of the equipment. So when he's there and he's already established his relationship, he can sell it. I'll get it. Sell it.
Go ahead.
So those are like the customers that I'll show up and they'll be like, "Oh, who are you?" I mean, Steve. I've dealt with Steve the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where I'll come in and kind of play that. But most of them do know me. But yeah, some don't. That's
cool.
fine. Because no matter what, I'm going to give you that quality service. You know, it's all the same, brother.
Love it. Yeah. And how should folks at home get in touch with you? Guys,
listen, we are all over the place. You can check us out on Facebook, okay? We have a great website, mobilioandsonhvac.com, all right? Facebook, Instagram, constant giving out, we do great contract agreements. Check them out. And check us out on TV, too. We're on TV. Yeah, you can check us out there. Or you can call our number at 203-404-0407 to get the best possible HVAC service you can imagine.
Are you on those breakfast diner mats?
No. When I eat breakfast, I like to eat breakfast. I'll have to spill something on it by accident.
You're a good man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Thank you again.
I really do. Thanks again, man.
And
It was
I'm
awesome.
Greg from Nexus, all the way from Rhode Island I came.
Beast!
First Connecticut interview. Joe Mobilio, Mobilio & Sons. Once again, your property managed.